What's up? We're Monuments, and you're watching ROCKFLESH.com.
ROCKFLESH.com, coming to you from Radar Festival in Manchester this year. We've got Andy and we've got Werner from Monuments, one of our favourite bands. And we're not just saying that, we're not just blowing the smoke. We are definitely saying that. So, you guys excited?
Oh man, so excited. We haven't played Radar in a few years, so I'm just really glad to be back, headlining the second stage, and it's gonna be a party.
Yeah, perfect. I mean, I think almost like a good few, well, only a few years ago, we wouldn't almost believe that we'd have Tech Fest, Radar, Euroblast across the continent. Progressive metal. I mean, is it a resurgence? Did it ever go away? Is it just that I feel like the people are willing to embrace it again?
Yeah, well, I think it's like the underground has always supported, even if it was quieter, especially during the COVID times. So when everybody felt comfortable again, they come out of the woodworks and rise up and show that metal is still fully alive. And, thank God.
Yeah, absolutely. I think one of the things as well, I mean, of course, prog has always been there, but also with bands, for example, like Sleep Token, which are on tonight as well. You see them just like branching out into all these other genres as well, and it's really cool to see that happening currently.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the things we see at all these festivals is the broad range of genres within each band, even not just kind of across the band, but we're seeing, you say Sleep Token, but yourselves like bringing in those different elements, rather than just the kind of like old school, as people thought of progressive rock. So, the two newest members of the band,
that's right,
we could say, So you've been, what, a year now, is it?
Yeah, I mean, you could say that because I've been touring with the band for about a year or something, but it's only been official since half a year now. So, time flies though. It feels like it's shorter, also longer. It's both at the same time.
Oh man, the older we get, the faster it seems to go.
And we're getting old, boy. It's happening.
So the kind of the adaptation to the band and stuff. I mean, I was at Tech Fest when you kind of like stepped in,
my first thing,
all of a sudden it snowballed and it was amazing. I mean, what was it like to play that gig?
Oh man, it was nerve-wracking because I had never done a festival at all, or like a big festival, and I just wanted to like do a good job. So I was so in my head the whole time, like, holy shit, like, don't fuck up. And of course I did. I'm pretty sure I like fell on stage during that show at one point.
You tripped.
Yeah. Classic Andy. So
exactly. It's what we are.
and it gave that slowly was like a stepping stone to give me the confidence to do stuff like this and keep it going.
Yeah, definitely. And of course, at that point, we were kind of seeing really the metamorphosis of the band. You might say. And like we came along and saw you as a four-piece when you were able to sing the songs that you'd kind of written. How much did it feel a relief, or do you still love singing those old songs?
Honestly, it's a bit of both. It is such a relief. Like, I feel like I've been welcomed and accepted into the Monuments family, and that extends to the fans. And just really validating and gave me a lot of confidence, but I still love playing those old tunes. I was a big fan of those old tunes.
So in Stasis, it's got your fingerprints on it.
So that feels great.
Because it does. I mean, I think it's fair to say it does match your vocals really well, because like obviously you wrote it, you produced it, which makes a massive difference as well. I think. So with regards to almost like that kind of change, obviously like Ollie leaving and stuff, the writing process, how does that work with you guys?
Well, mostly online. Like, we have a Discord server where Brown will share an idea, and then Vern will pop in some ideas. Mike, we'll just sort of toss around. I'll send demo vocals, and we just go back and forth until we feel like we have a skeleton that we're satisfied with. And like for In Stasis, everything was remote, so I did all my vocals at home, and those guys tracked where they were, and then we sent it off to the mixing engineer. So we actually, I think we work better that way too. Me personally, I'm not one that can just get in a room and like poop out awesome stuff. Because I don't know, I'm under pressure, and I'm better left to my own devices where I can burrow. I don't know how it is for you, Vern.
I kind of tend to feel the same, man, because I've only been a part of one song currently, creatively speaking. And for that one, it was also, Brown had a bit of a skeleton for what we wanted to do with that. Basically just send it my way, and he said, go nuts, do whatever you want to that. And that was really freeing as well, just like getting to like add a couple of riffs, do my own thing, but also of course adhering to what he already had written. But the final tracking process was also just me sitting in my room at home in the Netherlands, with him at the start of the process remotely available, and then he wasn't there for my entire tracking of that song. And then we got together again at the end, and we just went over a couple of corrections, or maybe do this or that, and that's how we collaborated on the actual tracking. But then for the writing process of it, like we did that, but just way more back and forth, sending demos, receiving demos. That's how we did it.
I mean, you see some bands kind of like do the old school way of, you know, kind of like in a rehearsal room. I guess like kind of writing on tour might be just more ideas that you kind of.
I really have no energy to write on tour.
It's just all about the live.
Yeah, and also like technology has sort of accommodated me in this way because I'm an introvert and I like to do things on my own and then bring it to the table versus being on the spot. So I think that it's ideal, at least for me. So I'm really happy with the synergy that we got going on for writing.
Do you think, actually, that's an interesting point. Do you think if we didn't have the kind of, we'll say technological breakthrough in the way that we could approach this, and actually the pandemic obviously changed up a lot of stuff, do you think you would have been able to be in a band like Monument without that kind of breakthrough?
I might not even have a job at all, honestly. I don't know. I think about that sometimes. If we were still in old school, or I guess if it was like 20 years in the past, how I would sink or swim, and I really don't know. All I know is that things are working for me now, and at the same time, things are moving fast and forward, and there's AI now, so I don't really know yet how that's going to affect the process.
So just going to write your lyrics?
I mean, I don't want it to, but what I'm...
But if it's willing to...
I think it's going to be more like it'll be incorporated in the recording and editing process, like maybe... and this isn't necessarily what I want, but I could see plugins coming out where it just perfectly synthesizes your harmonies, so you won't even have to do them. And I still like want to do them, but also as the standards change, I don't know what's going to happen. I'm a little scared, but.
And also it's a lot of tracking,
curious.
Especially you go full Def Leppard and you've got like 56 different layers or whatever it is that Joe Elliott uses, you know?
So it could save me time, but it also might like rip out a piece of my soul a little bit. I don't know yet. It's uncharted territory.
What do you think, Vern, with regards to kind of technology and how it affects being a bass player almost?
Well, as a bass player, that's a really interesting one too, because you see so many bands just going towards like just taking MIDI and then taking a sample pack and just using that on the records.
No live bass. Two guitarists, no live bass is quite a thing we see common. Definitely. Certainly like kind of like technical.
You see that a lot, and I think there's a lot of music where that actually works when it's just supposed to double the guitar to make a bit of a wall of sound. I think with Monuments and also my other band Aviations, there's a lot of room for a bit more like more interplay with the bass and instruments. So almost then, if you would backtrack that, there would be this weird hole that you would also probably see on the stage, and you would hear that in the mix as well. So I think the more you now have that there's actually more MIDI stuff behind the music happening on a record, the more room there will also be for bass players that aren't necessarily doing that, because it becomes more of a novelty. So there's two sides to that coin, in my opinion. I think so.
It's an art within itself, being a bass player, you know? I mean, kind of a lot. I think like we'll say in Britain, there was very much that kind of Britpop kind of era where almost the bass player was just like, say, like following the chord progression or that kind of thing. But you see bass players absolutely killing it in lots of bands. You think like, you know, kind of Pupil Slicer and stuff, it's insane. It's really, really good.
We have tonight here as well, Process this here, we have David Levy on bass, who's such an interesting player. And there's all these great players in the scene currently, which gets me really excited. So yeah, it's a good time to be live in there.
Yeah, definitely. So, question we often ask bands, or we always ask bands. Here we go. Writing, recording, playing live. What's your order of enjoyment?
Oh man, I'm definitely a playing live guy first. I got into music because I wanted to be on that stage and perform, and that is the most satisfying thing for my soul and my heart. a part of me kind of hates recording because I'm such a perfectionist that I have to, over and over again and be so meticulous and painstaking with the tracking and with the editing, and it puts a lot of pressure on myself to be like, I need to make this to fit my high standards, and they just keep getting higher, and I gotta outdo myself.
So especially if you are doing it by yourself rather than necessarily in that kind of studio environment where you've got almost like kind of like, come on, stop it. You've done this many snares. Exactly. You've done this many.
And I do it that way too. I've done it both ways. I can't really say which I prefer. If I have an engineer that I really trust and I know they know my voice, that can make a big difference and take a lot of the pressure off of me. But these days I do most of my own recording, so it's kind of like a masochistic sort of thing where I'm in the studio, I'm like, why did I do this? Like, all right, take 100. God damn it! And then I'm going to edit it
slightly, slightly pitchy. It's like no one knows but you.
Oh man! But I care so much because it used to be one of those things where I was like, it's good enough, it'll sound fine in the mix. And then as I did it more and more and more, I'm like, now it needs to be so good that the engineer handling the stems, if he solos it, he better not hear any sort of fucking weird shit at all. And, what about you? How do you feel?
Yeah, I don't know, man. Playing live, I mean, that's what we start with. Playing live is definitely my favorite thing to do in the world because that's where you get to perform the stuff that you've been so meticulous about, like Andy kind of described. But I gotta say, as much as I sometimes can hate recording, the way I have that same thing, but also how recording can sometimes also become a writing process in and of itself.
Yeah.
Where it's we thought we had this song figured out, and then you actually go in to track the final parts, and then sometimes these weird moments of inspiration still strike. And those are my favorite things in music almost in general. I wouldn't say more than playing live, but sometimes it's close when you really figure something out. Oh man, now it clicks. And for me in recording, I love that, man. That's my favorite bit.
So you guys produce?
Yeah, well, it's a collaborative thing with our engineer. George did our latest stuff, George Lever, and I think it's everyone sort of produces. We all have a say and a hand and pointing in directions. So collaboratively we produce.
I think it's one of those interesting things with regards to that, almost like a kind of external, the third person looking in to almost sense check. What you're going forward with as well. But then also, it's what you guys want to produce as well. So
we're all kind of control freaks, so we have to have.
It's perfect then, isn't it? So almost when you're writing the songs and recording the songs, it's when you're playing them live for the first time that you're getting the feedback that matters. Almost.
And from there, I think the song develops even more into a sort of different thing live, where we're just, maybe I'll do some different vocal runs, and Werner will try out some new fills. Mike, our drummer, he's always switching it up.
So
the more you do it, the more it's okay, we've got this live version of the song that is a little bit of a different beast, and that's fun to develop.
Oh, cool, excellent. Let's do some of our fun questions that we do. Let's do some monument-specific ones.
Right.
I'm sure people have asked you what your favourite monument is as monuments. That's probably, have they not?
I actually don't think I've ever answered that question.
Well, we're not even going to ask that. It's amazing.
Well, do you have it? I think you should answer this.
No, so first, I think someone recently asked this question to us, but not an interviewer. Was it a random person, someone in the band that brought this up?
Maybe.
I don't remember. It's really good.
Well, let's do some quick fire. Just go through monuments.
Okay.
You have to say which one you think is better out of each pair.
Oh, that's good.
Okay. Yeah, I like that.
So we've got Leaning Tower of Pisa, Leaning Tower of Pisa, and Great Wall of China.
Ooh. I'm gonna say Leaning Tower.
Really?
Yeah. I'll tell you why.
I don't want to cause band splits. Come on.
Wait, why is it controversial?
No, I don't know. For me personally, it's not actually.
I'll tell you why. I like that it's kind of fucked up. I think that sort of embodies a thing that I relate to. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Sure, it's not as great as the Great Wall, but it's it's doing its own thing. It says, hey, I'm not gonna fucking be quite straight up.
It's easier to take a photo of. Rather than the Great Wall of China. No, that need a helicopter like that. Maybe satellite.
True that. Yeah.
True. Okay, Taj Mahal and the Parthenon.
Yeah, that's
Greece.
good. For me, Taj Mahal, I think.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to Taj Mahal as well.
Just really iconic.
Okay. And the Eiffel Tower or the Statue of Liberty?
Well, as a red-blooded American,
I was going to say, you've got to be
I'm gonna have to
patriotic.
go with the Eiffel Tower because it's way more interesting, and I like it better.
Yeah, that's
Sorry.
I also maybe I will say actually the Statue of Liberty also because of its iconic value to begin with, but also the fact that it was gifted, I think, by the French.
They're both
actually,
French
they're
monuments.
both French,
Yeah,
which is kind of cool. But yeah, I think that iconic value and how it now stands for an entire country like that. Maybe the Eiffel Tower does as well, a little bit. But yeah, I think there's something special about the Statue of Liberty.
That's good. That's good. Okay, some of the more general ones that we always do. If Monuments was to be a drink, alcoholic or non-alcoholic, what drink would Monuments be and why?
You got good questions. That's good.
Crazy local
I
question.
don't know, anything come to mind for you?
Yeah, I think we're Jack and Coke, bro.
Okay, yeah, well, that's my go-to. That is literally the drink. I think we all sort of gravitate towards Jack and Coke because it's just simple, trusted, and we all like a good cola. I've always been a whiskey person.
But also
the
to
ultimate
hyper-analyze this one, I think, it's got the caffeine, it's got the kick, right? It's got that layer of sugar, like that sweetness in your voice, maybe.
Yeah. And I can always throw some honey in there. That
Oh,
tastes
yes,
great.
I like it.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden, it kicks the back of your throat.
Exactly.
It's a comfort drink.
And boy, is it refreshing.
Very refreshing. Shout out to Jack and Coke.
That's right.
Every week.
Nice. Who does the craziest poses on stage?
What do you think?
I think it's you.
Yeah, probably. I tend to go Spider-Man mode every now and then, try to climb stuff, or just like lean back as far as I can, or somersault. I like gymnastics
from the ceiling?
Yeah, is that a pose?
So,
Dude, Werner does some crazy shit too. You should see some of his jumps and hops where he's just like fully midair and
We're
it's like a ninja.
expecting the full acrobatic act tonight.
Oh man, I'll be disappointed. Won't be disappointed. I'm sorry.
Okay, if you were having a biopic of the film, who would play each of you?
Andrew Garfield.
Yeah. I mean, it's an easy one, isn't it? It's an easy one. It's like,
if I grow my hair back out, I want to have Seth Rogen do it.
yes,
Really?
I like
That would be hilarious.
Yeah, but when I see you, I don't at all think
That's
so.
That's true.
He could probably do a good job. I don't know. I would say someone like maybe Glenn Howerton. If you know who that is.
Yeah, I know who that is.
Okay, like when he's got a beard. Well, yeah, he's just such a good actor, and I feel like he could do the accent well. Yeah, I could see that.
All right, I'm feeling that. That's
Okay, cool.
We'll go with that. So, what can we expect from you in the next 12 months?
Well, we're gonna
You're allowed to tell us.
We're gonna be fuck it. We're gonna be writing a new album. So
Excellent.
as soon as we're done with this run of fests, we're just gonna hit it hard. That's the plan.
Perfect.
And we got some cool content coming out. We're allowed to talk about so we got a deluxe edition of In Stasis. It's on the way. It's gonna have remixes, instrumentals, acoustic version, live versions of stuff.
Wow,
So
the
we're really,
whole shebang.
We're trying to slowly roll all that out, and then as that's coming out, we'll be working on the next LP.
Yeah.
And I mean, that process has slowly started, but like we're gonna ramp that up more, especially I think after we tour. There's loads of touring going on this year.
As you say, that, kind of like it's something you need to concentrate on, isn't it? Each year. Perfect. Well, thank you very much for spending some time with us.
Yeah.
It's been absolutely awesome.
Thank you,
Absolutely
ROCKFLESH.
awesome.
Thank you.
Obviously, the review, the photos, and this interview will all be available on rockflesh.com later on, together with all the other Radar Festival reviews and photos and interviews, etc. Like, subscribe, the whole shebang. Thank you very much.
You're so welcome. Thank you.
And Vern from Monuments. We've been rockflesh.com. Thank you.
All right.